So it's time for you to be the school counselor. You are going to determine some averages and you're going to check out performance here for the entire class. And I'm going to show you how this is going to work. You are going to watch a part of this video, then you're going to stop it and you're going to go and do it. And then you're going to come back and do the next step. So I don't want you to stress out too much. It's going to take steps. You're going to go back and forth. So make sure you watch this video. If you have questions, watch the video again. Watch it a couple of times to make sure you get through it okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare it. What do you have here? Let's take a look at what we have here. We have here is a gigantic class of 100 students. It's actually an entire high school. Our high school is 650 kids, but 100 was enough to make it interesting, but not so much data that you just are worried about getting lost in the spreadsheet. Put them all in a big spreadsheet, and they each have a grade, which is the grade they're in, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then their English average, their math average, their computer science average, their science average, their social studies average, and the number of absences they've had in the year. Over here, I have directions of things that you're going to do. Let's first prepare this just a little bit to make sure it's a little easier to read. The first thing I see is as I go down, I lose my headers. It's a little hard to deal with it. I also can't even read my headers particularly well. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go right into here. I'm going to click, and when I click on the corner here, what happens is the clicking on the corner is this select all, and I'm going to go right here to this column right here, and I'm going to double click. What that does, what did I just do? I'll undo that. You notice that this kind of overlaps. Well, if you click on the little line in between two columns, it will automatically spread the column out, so it's showing you the full title. Well, that's great. I can read my titles as long as I don't roll down and see my 100 names. So to prepare my sheet, we're also going to need to freeze this top column. So I'm going to click on a row, I'm going to click on the 1, and then I'm going to go to view, and I'm going to click freeze, 1 row. Now watch what happens. As I scroll down, I can still see the header. So you're preparing your sheet. You haven't done any of the work yet. And the last thing I'm going to show you, last little trick is hit bold and do the little select and put the double thing in there. So it widens it out just a little bit. And that helps to be able to see what these mean. I'm also going to do a little trick. I'm going to shrink this one column number of absences because we don't really need to see, what absences means, right? So we have all that going on, and this is, we have everybody's individual performance, and, Heath Holcomb had a good year, no absences. Madeline Hernandez, 1 absence. Look how strong some of the grades are. She struggles a little bit in English. That's unfortunate. Alexandra Aardvark, real strong student, only 1 absence. One of the meta lessons here is don't be absent a lot. Your grades are better. Now, let's do the following. Let's follow our directions. Okay, so take a second. If you want to stop the video, prepare, get all this mess done. Pick your head columns. Pick your columns. Do that. When you're done, come back. Now, we're going to get to this thing, which is create filters for all the columns. What the heck is a filter? What does it do? Well, I'm going to show you how to create the filter. Then I'll show you what it does. I'm going to go to my mouse and pick my mouse and pick my mouse click. What's going to happen, close this off, is I'm going to go to the first row, and then I'm going to go to either data, where it says create a filter, or I'm going to go up to here and go to filter views, right? There's all kinds of filter views, right? I'm going to go to format data and create a filter. Keep it simple. I'm putting in the filters, and then I'll do my little trick where I widen this out again, right? It's just getting a little bit wide. I'm going to shrink that one column up. Oops, undo. I'll shrink this column up again. This guy's just a little bit long. And I'm going to shrink this guy up too. I'm just going to delete this column. I don't really need it. And I'm going to take the select all off of it. And what's going to happen is I am going to be able to filter this. So let's say I wanted to see only the 9th graders. I could go here to this filter right here and click under grade. You see how it's got everything selected. If I hit clear, now nobody's selected, and I'll click the 9th grade. Look what I have. I have a list of just the 9th graders. Or if I want to see just the 11th graders, I could click the 11 and unclick the 9th and do that. Or if I want to see the 9th and 11th grade together, I could go in and click 9 and 11, and boom, that's everybody. And I'm just going to go back here, and I'm going to select all. I'm going to put everybody back in the list. So filters allow you to do that. So I've created filters for all the columns. I've actually done task 1. So you can pause. I will give you a fireworks for that, and you can go back and have a little fun. Do that and come back. So welcome back. I'm going to put my clicks back on. We're going to do step 2, list the students alphabetically. Well, list the students alphabetically. I could go through and I could cut and paste and put Alston up near the top and Dixie and Luna down there. That'd be crazy. Or I could use my filter. Filter by last name, students alphabetically, last name, sort A through Z. That's it. Everybody is now alphabetical and all their grades have moved. And all of these grades are still the same. So for that, you get 2 fireworks. So far, so good. Step 2 is pretty quick. So go give yourself a little bit of celebration. Go take care of listing students alphabetically and come back to the list. So welcome back. Now it says determine the average. And I'm going to just shrink this column a little bit. Determine the average of the 4 classes down to the 2 digits in the yellow cells. That's an interesting problem. Determine the average of the 4 classes down to 2 digits in the yellow cells. So average. If you think about the average, I'm going to want to add up English, math, computer science, science, and social studies. Add them up and then divide them by, there's 5 items, so that's how you do an average, right? It's basic math. You learned that in middle school, hopefully, right? So I go in here, and to put in a column, I have to go equals, and then I'm going to go, and it's actually auto-suggesting average, but I'm going to show you how this would work. I would put in my, oops, I accidentally clicked on something. I would put in my parentheses, and I could go in and I could go click, and then hit a plus, click, plus, click, plus, click, plus, click, plus. Those are my 5, and actually I can take that last plus off, and those are my 5 columns, and I put those in parentheses, so it says take all those numbers and add them together. Whatever's in D2 plus E2 plus F2 plus G2 plus H2, all 5 of these, add them together, and then divide. Now on the keyboard, divide is the little slash, and there's 5 numbers in there, so I'll divide by 5. And look what it gives me. It gives me an average, which is kind of neat. I actually like that. So my average is there. It's down to 2 digits. Well, I have to go into format, number, number. That's actually 2 digits. So format, number, and then choose number. And if number defaults to 2 digits, which is what I asked you to do. And then I have to go in here and I have to go click. Put parentheses in. Boom. Plus, boom, plus, boom, plus, boom, plus, boom. And then close the parentheses, divide by 5. Okay, this is really fun, Mr. Tush, except it's going to take all day because I've got like 100 people here. This is insane. Well, you got a couple of options. One of which is to use the average formula. You saw that it auto-suggested it. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to grab an average. And it says average. I'm going to write in here, I'm going to type in average. And average is one of my items. And then I can select all of these guys and then hit parentheses. And I have to double check the formula. If you use the average, double check the formula, because when it auto-suggests, it will probably auto-suggest C through I, and you only need D through H. As a matter of fact, you don't want to average in the number of absences into their grade average because you don't want to average a 2 into a bunch of other good grades, right? Alston Remington has some good grades here, and then we'd average a 2 and Alston would be averaging somewhere in the low D's, and that's Alston's doing a little better now. Hit return, up, and I go in, and I can actually tell this entire column to go to 2 decimal points. So go right up here, format, number, number. Now everything in the column is going to go to that. And then here's the other cool thing. Fill down. See when I click this little cool average thing? Box, I got this little box right here. See this little box? This little handle right here allows me to fill down. If I drag down here, look what happens. Holy moly, that's amazing. If I click all the way down here, keep clicking down, I drag all the way down to the bottom, it does the average for the entire thing. You'll notice that it says, oh, I'm on row 93, so do D93 through H93. It said, oh, I'm on row 69, so do D to H on row 69. This one, row 47. So now it's going to do D47 to H47. Whatever row I'm on, it's going to fill in. It's kind of neat. And I have done the average for 4 classes down to 2 digits. I'm going to go in and give you 3 fireworks for that. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3. This is the one average right down here. That's what I've done, 3 fireworks. So go do that and come back. So welcome back. Now we're going to do number 4. 4 says determine the average class performance for each subject down to 2 digits using the orange cells. So it's each subject. We know what subjects are, right? Grade is not a subject. English, math, computer science, and social studies. Here's my orange cells. I have to do the average. Well, guess what? I think we're pretty good at average now, right? Click here, equals. And then it actually auto-suggests average, D2 to D101. Is that correct? D2 to D101. It is correct. Oh my goodness. Hit return. That's great. I have to have my format, number. That's really what I want, down to 2 digits. And then, gee, remember that little handle thing where I did a drag down, right? It works across too. You're going to love this. You're going to love this, darling. I drag this across. And it does it across. It even takes the formatting. All right, so I'm going to go over here, and that is step 4 rather. So I'm going to give you 4 fireworks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 fireworks. That's kind of cool. Go do that, come back. And then we're going to do step 5 and 6. And yes, I'll give you 5 and 6 fireworks. So go do that and come back. Now, welcome back. And it says, create a column chart showing the average performance in each subject. Create a column chart showing the average performance in each subject. So I'm going to have to make a chart. And I already have a chart here. I'm going to add the chart. And I'm going to want to know the subject. And I'm going to want to know the average, right? So to create my little table here, the subject is going to be English and math, computer science, and science, social studies. And you'll notice that these kind of go over, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually right justify these up here. And that makes them kind of come to the right. And I'm going to make these headers, make them a little bit bold, right? And then maybe I'll actually come in here and I'll put a little box around it just for fun. And I'll make my box a little thicker. So now I can see that a little bit better, right? And I'm going to tell the spreadsheet to take whatever the average is and put it in there. I'm going to say equals this, and then hit return. And that's going to take care of, and it's going to suggest an autofill. Be careful with the autofill. Some of them work great, some of them don't. I'm going to click equals here, return. Equals here, because that's computer science, return. Science is here, equals science. And social studies, here's my social studies, click social studies. And there it is. I've got it done. But that's not the whole job. The whole job says create a column chart. I wonder what that's going to look like. So I'm going to select all of this. And I'm going to go to Insert, Chart. Got that? The Insert menu and Chart. And guess what it did? And it's average versus subject. I'm going to change that to average by subject. And there was what I have. I have my 5 columns by subject, average 75, and those are about right. And then you see over here, social studies is a little bit of a struggle. Of course, everybody's doing great computer science because everybody has me. And so everybody's achieving academically, and that's what this is all about. So I have my little chart right here. I can get in and edit it, but for now, I'm going to tell you to go back and do this while I give you 5 fireworks right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So awesome sauce. Now, just a little bit left. Go back and do number 5, and then together we're going to do number 6. So welcome back. I'm going to go back to classic mouse clicks. I'm going to look right here where it says create a pie chart showing how many students are in each grade. Use the COUNTIF formula. I'm going to show you the COUNTIF formula. Pretty cool. It's tricky stuff. It's very sophisticated. It's very sophisticated. So right down here, I started a chart for you right here. And I'm going to actually box this up, or I'm going to make this, I'm going to give it a box so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to And the job here, we're going to make this boldface. The job here is to count the number of kids in each grade, all right? We use a formula called COUNTIF, and this is the fanciest formula you're going to use for this exercise. And here's how this is going to work. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to go to equals, and I'm going to use a formula called COUNTIF. I'll put it all in caps. All right, and I'm going to COUNTIF and I'm going to tell it to look in here. Now the first, it needs what's called arguments. What has to happen is in this parentheses, COUNTIF says I'm counting something, all right? And what it's saying, this right here is saying COUNTIF, okay, first of all, where do I look? And I told it, look, C2 through C101. Told it where to look. And then it says, what do I look for? And I'm going to tell it to look for number 9, but I'm going to put it in quotes because it needs to look for that character. So I'm going to put quote 9, close quote, and I know I'm right because it's green, and then I'm going to hit parentheses, and then I'm going to hit return, and look what it does. It counts the 14 right here. All right, so that's what it does. C2 through C101. Let's do that again. I'm going to go to the sophomores. Now, obviously, I'm going to look for grade 10 for the sophomores. So I'm going to type in equal, and look what it does. It makes a suggestion. The suggestion's formatted nicely, so I'll take it, but it's not the range I want. I want C2 to C101, and I'm going to look for the number 10. I'm going to hit return. It's interesting. Let me do it again. If you want to do it the slow way, I'll totally do it the slow way. COUNTIF, parentheses, select the entire column, except the header. Then tell it to look for, I'm looking for juniors, so I'm looking for quote 11, quote, parentheses. That's it. And one more time, just in case you didn't get it, I'm going to do equals, COUNTIF, parentheses. I can even type because I've got it memorized now, right? C2 colon C101. And what am I looking for? This is obviously going to be grade 12. And hit return. And I've got it done. Now, did I finish? This is create a pie chart. I think we know how to create a chart, right? Let's hope it gives us a pie. And if it doesn't, I could go in and fix that too. I'm going to go ahead and select all of this and select all of this by going like right here and selecting all this, click and drag, or I could click and drag down like this to select it, or I can just click shift and then go to insert chart. Because it's a COUNTIF, they tend to do this kind of a chart right here, so that's fine. And is this a column chart? Yes, I could claim game set match here. I could also say I want to do everything in maroon, and so I go in here and do my, wait, did I really just undo that? Let me undo what I just did. If you ever accidentally delete something, hit undo, like I just did. I could go in here and I could do things to the chart to make it better. I could customize my pie slices. So what if I wanted my freshmen to be maroon? I could change it to maroon. And if I wanted my sophomores to be green, I could make, or actually I'd do silver. I'd do the nice Buckley silver. And then if I wanted my juniors to be brighter red, I could do that. If I want my seniors to be yellow, oh, it's juniors. I'm changing juniors. They're going to be bright red. Sorry. And then if I want my seniors to be the Buckley gold, I could totally pull out the gold from the gold that's in our thing. That's really more the gold that's in our thing. I could change all of that. I could pull out different pie slices, anything I want to do. And then I also want to change my topic because it's number, caps lock was on, number of students per grade. Once all that is done, you can take your time and do it. I will, in the meantime, give you your 6 fireworks for going this far into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're awesome. And a few extras for just being awesome. And I'm going to let you have a little bit of fun with that. When all 6 of these steps are done, turn it in. If you don't understand what I just did, go back, scrub, watch it again. Watch the demonstration of the entire assignment for you. All you have to do is copy what I did. Best of luck. Have fun with the assignment.